I'm Antwan, and I'd like to share something with you. Oh, how did I get into magic? That's a good question. Well, it's kind of a long story. Part of my life, my mother wasn't always able to take care of us, my brother and I, and we got taken away. They put us in a foster home. And it was there, I was pretty much raised by the television, anything that came on. So anything exciting, entertaining was always just there to raise me. You know, we were always watching TV. That was the thing to keep ourselves distracted away from the reality that we were actually living. I used to watch magicians on TV. Eventually, a few years later, my mom got a little bit more sober. She still never kicked the drugs and alcohol, but she was doing better, and that was good for her. So eventually, I got placed back in with my mom, and so the state put us back into her home, and it was a pretty terrible situation. I remember days that we didn't have electricity. I remember days we didn't have food. I remember days we had to steal in order to eat and survive. Eventually, even the school bus stopped coming to our neighborhood. It was pretty bad. We had to figure out a way to get to school, and we did. I remember having to do our own laundry. We didn't have laundry soaps. We had to use like some kind of dish soap in a sink or something to get our clothes cleaned. It was terrible. So it was around that time I met some real cool people, was inspired to go to the library a little bit more, and I would read books on magic. I was always fascinated with books. I would read books on Harry Houdini and other magicians of the time, and just fascinated with that type of thing. A few years later, I ended up meeting some magicians at a magic shop called Callan Novelties, and I would beg them to teach me their magic tricks. I would stop in the store and I would just annoy them. Eventually, I ended up working at one of the magic shops in Portland, and we traded secrets. And it was really cool because anything you wanted in magic was there. We had books, we had DVDs, we had CDs. I mean, back in the day, I think it was VHS tapes. But my teacher allowed me to take anything in the store home that I wanted. And that was like a kid in the candy store being able to take everything home. I wanted to take everything home. But I had to learn how to sell it. That was the catch. So eventually I became a salesman. And that's what I did. I worked at that shop, became a salesman, took everything home, and I knew how to sell it. Once I read it, watched the videos, practiced it, and all that type of thing. Eventually, that led to table hopping magic. Worked at a restaurant called Billy Reed's and a couple bars in the neighborhood. It was never really enough money to survive, but it was something to keep me moving, keep me encouraged, keep me motivated, and also keep the momentum going of being a magician for a living. I realized that there wasn't going to be enough work in Portland, so I packed up my bags and moved 3,000 miles away, moved to Florida, became a street magician. Little bars in Ybor City would pull me in and let me keep their customers there a little bit longer, make them laugh, make them smile, and just party with these crazy people. Hand out a bunch of business cards, and eventually I started booking corporate events and parties like that. And eventually I caught the eye of some people at Disney World. Within a year, somebody saw me from Disney World. They offered me a big contract. It was more money than I'd ever seen before, so I was really happy. it was both exciting and depressing at the same time. Once I got into it, everything was exciting and wonderful, but it started getting depressing because I was really living my dream. I had set my goal and I had made it. And I think anybody that has any sort of success in this world goes through this moment of attaining your goal, finding the success, but then feeling a little bit empty because it actually worked out the way you planned, which means you got to set bigger goals now. You got to set your new horizons. You got to think about bigger and better goals because now you know that it's attainable. You have the actual knowledge, not just the speculation of the dream come true or just a pipe dream. You actually know that it's possible. And once you know that, it's something that gets built into you. It's ingrained into your DNA. It's something that makes you what you are. And it's not so much what the people say around you or the false encouragement that they try to give you. The encouragement comes from within you. And that's what my life is all about. Once you attain your goal, you got to either set bigger goals or open up new horizons and go in different directions. So eventually after that, I moved to New York.